My name is Jeremy Haskell. I'm with jobsintheus.com, and we're here at the Omni Mount Washington Hotel in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire for the 2015 Strategic HR New England Conference. I'm joined now by Diana Kander from Columbia, Missouri, and she is the author of All In Startup, launching a new idea when everything is on the line. So Diana, thanks for joining us.
I'm excited to be here.
Oh, we're glad to have you. So you're going to deliver a keynote speak about innovation in HR.
That's
really,
right.
About being strategic, which is appropriate for that conference. So what does innovation in HR mean to you?
It means thinking about actually creating value for the organization. I think so often the HR department, the marketing department, any large bureaucracy people are siloed and they're tracking their own measurements of whether they're doing well, but those measurements, they're making inferences that eventually it's going to be good for the company, and I think it's not enough to just make those inferences that if it takes less time to fill a position, then that's adding to the bottom line. I think we can actually tie HR behaviors and programs to the bottom line. So to me, thinking more strategically is how much value are we adding to those key performance indicators for the company as a whole as opposed to just our department.
That makes a lot of sense, especially intuitively when you think about that, happy wording. What do you think is the biggest challenge that as we come out of into these new economic times and the organization structures really changed over the past 10 to 15 years? What do you think is one of the biggest challenges that's keeping those silos from coming together?
Well, before the challenge was we didn't have the capability to track it. Like, what were you going to track? But now with the rise of data science and its growth in most large companies, we have the capability to say, oh, you implemented this new health and wellness program. How much is that increasing corporate revenues? Like before, that was just impossible, but now we have statisticians, mathematicians who can actually tie the two things together. And so to me, it's a really, really exciting new capability that a lot of different wings. I think it started in marketing and then it went to maybe financial services, but now I think it's time for it to get to HR.
No, that makes a lot of sense as well. Now, when you look at those opportunities to connect, what are maybe some of the places that HR might not be thinking about where they could really have an opportunity to have an impact on that bottom line? Because obviously we're all in business to, for that bottom line.
Yeah, I think frequently HR is very reactive. And so they're thinking about what's going on in the HR field and what's working for other companies, but every company is so unique and different that you need to be talking to the executives in your company and saying, what are the biggest challenges for our organization? And then thinking about, well, what HR policies could I create in order to impact those issues? So I think it's very individual to every company, and you should really focus on what helps your specific company.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think that makes a lot of sense. And there's always been a lot of talk about HR wanting to get a seat at the table.
Yeah. And
getting in those places. What do you think that if you could communicate to the CEO or the CFO, what do you think that if you could just sit them down and say, this is what you're missing about what HR can bring?
Yeah.
Because instead of HR asking for a seat at the table, how can we kind of switch the conversation to where the CEOs or CFOs are inviting HR to the table?
I don't want to convince the CEO or the CFO, so I come from this as an entrepreneur. And when you're an entrepreneur, you want a lot of people to give you things. You want customers to do business with you, and they should be doing it. But you can't just explain to them why they should be. You need to go out and provide value and show it to them. So I really want to have the conversation with the HR executives to say, if you do this to show to the leadership of your organization what you're capable of, they're not going to have a choice. So that's how you go out and you take it, That's how I was as an entrepreneur. I provided so much value to my customers that they couldn't ignore me any longer, and that's how I think HR executives should approach their executive leadership.
I think that makes a tremendous amount of sense, and I'm really looking forward to your talk. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.